Hey guys, Ben Bears here. Just gonna give you an update video slash milestone of our progress so far. And this time I'm actually gonna run the game through the EXE, which I'll also be posting. Jason pointed it out that he's specifically noticed that our web version plays a little differently than our EXE. Our EXE actually plays a million times better now that I think about it. Um, just a couple quick things. We've now added Sean's 3 songs that he's made so far, but we haven't actually put them in the game yet. Right now, I've only made it so it's the main level theme that we're going to be using for the first level. Another thing is we've changed it around so the the controller settings are set to the default settings we have in our game design document. So let me run this up. Right here, it's just our new game menu. Obviously, there's going to be a control slash options section and a quit section right here. But it just took me a little while to add this button here because I also had to make sure it fit on all resolutions. So I had to go in and mess around with the code. So here we go. Not sure if I pointed this out in the last video, but we have a HUD here that has Lionel's health, amount of energy, as well as the in-game timer. Right now I had it set so the timer started, I think it was around like 15 seconds. It was just something I was messing around with in the code. So it is going to start at 0 and then work its way up. Originally, before we had it, so it started at 60 and it started a countdown. And another thing is, in order to run, or I should say sprint, the player is not going to be holding a second button. Now the player is going to have to double tap. Sort of like if they want to double jump, they have to press spacebar twice. Now I have it so if they want to sprint, they're going to have to press the arrow twice. That part, I'm going to say right now, that part was so annoying and very hard to code for me. For some reason, I ran into a lot of problems and bugs, and then, I don't know, finally I got it working. So, let me run through this level. Kill the frog, get him out of our way. And right before I proceed with the level, I would like to point out that I don't know if you saw in the beginning of the video, but the Macguffin now actually looks immediately for a shrine and just flies directly to it and leaves a trail behind. So now throughout the game, instead of having how we had it before, when the Macguffin was right here on the top right, constantly on the screen, and then teleported to the shrine once you were close to it, the Macguffin's going to fly right to the shrine. And each time it does this, each time the player actually plays through the game, it's randomly generated. So that's why right now it's a little spiky on the top. I'm not sure if you can actually tell through this web recording, but the sort of right here how it came into an incline and then a sharp stop and then down and up. That's something I plan to fix later on. I just wanted to make sure I got the random generated thing working. And as you see, it works pretty well so far. And the trail thing was actually by accident. I was messing around with Unity's effects codes. I had no clue you could do that. So I'm going to run up here. And then, another thing I'd like to point out is the sort of like physics for the slope here. I'm not sure if I pointed out in the last video. So if Lionel runs up, it's going to slow down. And then when Lionel runs down, it sort of gets faster. Sort of like as if he was running down a hill. This is all speed-wise, and the amount hill coverage that Lionel has, it's all subject to change. Right now, like I mentioned, it's a rough demo version if we have it so far. I think it's turned out pretty well. And it also works if you just decide to run up it, which obviously it's going to go really slow. But then, once you get to the top, it sort of runs back to normal speed. And there's a Macguffin right there. And I forgot to mention we've added a sort of like a sparkler effect right here, these purple orbs. So once I reach that, see how it's it's very rigidy right now, but like I said, that's just a matter of changing the variables in the code. I've also tried to sort of lower the difficulty on the platform part, because I've actually had a couple of my friends play through our game so far, and get rid of that B. And the one complaint they had was the platform part was extremely difficult. And I've changed this around, so each time the platform stops, it sort of gives a little bit time for Lionel to jump on the platform. Before we had it, so it didn't even stop at all. So once it got to here, it would automatically go back to where it was before, and it was pretty difficult. And I mean, if we can always decide later on for maybe a trickier level that it won't stop, or we have different multiple platforms. I've messed around with the code a bit, so it's a matter of just copying and pasting and changing around variables. So let me get over here. And then right here is going to be the end of the demo. So once you pick that up, there's no more shrines, so obviously he's not going to, the Macguffin itself is not going to look for another shrine. Another thing I'd like to point out before we end this demo milestone video is the orb right here around the Macguffin. And Sean pointed out that we should sort of make a glowing effect, which is definitely possible in Unity. Just about anything's possible in Unity, I think. But so that's definitely something we're going to work on, is sort of add even more light to the Macguffin so it doesn't just appear as a purple circle. So another quick thing I would like to show that we have, hold on, let me just open up the actual main level. For the frog, for the next update we're going to make it so the frog has the attack animation, because, hold on, let me turn off the song right now. I'm not sure if this song actually plays through the web player, but I will allow the exe to be, or I'll upload the exe as well with this video, so people won't have to just play it through the web player. They can actually play the exe themselves. So for the frog, we're going to have a sort of tongue lash attack. And this is sort of already in effect through a raycasting right here. That purple, I'm not sure how well that shows up in the web recording, but this purple ray right here, that's sort of like going to be where his tongue is. Whether that's going to be how far out it stretches, that's just a matter of us playing through it and having other people play through it and deciding how difficult the frog is. But it's actually my first time messing with raycasting, and it's pretty cool. It's used in a lot of games, like in Skyrim as well, mainly in Skyrim and all the other Bethesda type games like Fallout. And another thing we're going to be working on is Jason already started drawing up some sketches for our next mountain level, which I've seen already. It looks really, really cool. It's sort of going to be on treetop parts. See, this one, it's sort of like mid-tree line, but that level is going to be treetop. And, oh yeah, I forgot to also mention that I've changed it around so it follows Lionel vertically. And I've sort of added a delay. I'm not sure if you can really tell, but there's actually a delay time to when it focuses on the Lionel. I actually got this idea when thinking about Sonic 2 for Sega Genesis, which was probably my favorite Sonic. Either that or Sonic for Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast. That was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so that was actually a little tricky to add, and now it follows Lionel vertically. Before we had it so it didn't actually follow him vertically, and it definitely limited to us to how we could design the level overall. So if there was even like a top part to level or what, you can see right here, actually that'll give you a better understanding of what I mean with the camera part. See how it doesn't rapidly follow Lionel, but it still does, and when it gets to a point, it sort of just drags along. Same thing when he jumps up and then falls down too. Let me see if I can show that. Yeah. So like I said, a couple challenges we're going to tackle are definitely the frog attacking melee wise. It's going to be my first time programming melee, so that should definitely be fun. I'm expected to run into thousands and thousands of bugs, but that's how programming goes for game development. I'm sure we all know that. And another thing is we're fixing up the frog animations. Jason's going to finish up some parts of the next level so we can have it so once Lionel gets to the end of the level, which we're going to extend this level, but obviously, it'll give you sort of like a status screen of how the player did in the level. And other than that, that is about it. We're going to fix up, obviously, the main menu. So here, I'll go back to the menu part. So it doesn't just say new game. It's going to say options, controls, and then in the options section, it's going to have the picture or screenshot of what we have for the default controls. And also, we're going to make it so it can be used properly when you plug in an Xbox 360 controller or any sort of USB style controller. There's actually a hack you can use the PS3 controller, but I wouldn't recommend downloading it. And that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching.